All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating, honestly kind of unbelievable phenomenon. You know how some incredibly smart, highly capable organizations just keep making the exact same catastrophic mistakes? Well, we're going to figure out why. The whole focus of our explainer today is understanding something called double loop learning. It's a concept that completely flips how we view success and failure. We'll look at why teams get stuck in a rut and, more importantly, exactly how to break free.
To kick things off, just imagine a massive, multi-billion-dollar corporation. Now imagine they lose over $100 million on a venture they called Product X. Why did it fail so spectacularly? Well, crazy enough, it's because literally no one dared to speak up. The folks on the ground, they knew it was doomed. But this tangled web of unwritten rules and workplace fears completely kept the truth from reaching the people who actually needed to hear it.
This wild paradox was famously analyzed by organizational researcher Chris Argyris. He actually spent his entire career decoding the hidden psychology behind workplace failures, putting it all out there in a landmark 1977 paper for the Harvard Business Review. Argyris noticed something weird. As management technology and data got more sophisticated, organizations somehow seemed to get less effective. He wanted to know why brilliant people were essentially systematically designing their own failures. Just take a look at the timeline of this disaster. On day one, year one, 5 technical and marketing experts realized Product X was a total dud that would instantly price itself out of the market. But organizational norms forced them to camouflage that truth. By year 3, middle managers are heavily sanitizing the bad news in their memos. Softening the blow, underplaying the severity, and acting like they had it under control. Mostly because top execs were busy hyping Product X as a market leader. It wasn't until year 6, the top management finally pulled the plug after bleeding massive amounts of cash.
Section 1. The illusion of problem solving.
So this illusion happens when a company thinks they're solving a problem, but really they're just rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. Employees get trapped in this vicious double bind. Step 1. Hide the technical errors so you don't get punished. Simple enough, right? But since they hid it, step 2 kicks in. They have to invent these elaborate organizational games just to camouflage the fact that they're hiding something. They drip-feed bad news to cover their tracks. Eventually, by step 3, the tension of this constant deception becomes the new normal. Everyone becomes completely blind to the original error. They literally lose the ability to see the mistake anymore. Wild, right?
Section 2. Single versus double loop learning.
To figure out how to break this cycle, we've got to understand 2 vastly different types of learning. First up is single loop learning, which is purely about efficiency. It asks the question, are we doing things right? It's all about treating symptoms to keep the status quo chugging along. Double loop learning, on the other hand, goes way deeper. It asks, are we doing the right things? It actually dares to question the underlying system itself, moving past those surface-level band-aids to interrogate the very goals we're trying to achieve in the first place.
Argyris has this brilliant analogy that really hits the nail on the head. Think of a thermostat. Single-loop learning is just adjusting the temperature. It gets a data point like, hey, the room is too cold, and takes corrective action by kicking on the heat. But, and here's the kicker, it never stops to ask if the thermostat was actually set to the right temperature to begin with.
That's where double-loop learning comes in. It happens when we take a step back and actively challenge our core governing variables and long-held beliefs. It's like the thermostat suddenly asking itself, wait a second, should I even be set to 68 degrees? Is blowing hot air even the best way to warm the specific room? It requires an organization to resolve incompatible norms by totally restructuring its policies and objectives rather than just endlessly playing whack-a-mole with minor surface-level errors.
Section 3. The trap of Model I.
So why is this so incredibly hard for us to do? Well, it all boils down to a deeply ingrained psychological framework called Model I. Argyris discovered that across basically all cultures, ages, and demographics, we're socialized from childhood to operate on this Model I theory. We're hardwired to achieve our purpose exactly as we've defined it. We are absolutely obsessed with winning and terrified of losing. We push down negative feelings, we overemphasize pure rationality, and we unilaterally protect ourselves and others from embarrassment at all costs.
All this defensive behavior creates what Argyris called skilled incompetence. And it's a fascinating paradox. We are highly skilled experts at designing actions that protect us and save face. I mean, we know exactly how to write that perfectly vague memo, or when to just stay quiet in a meeting so we don't upset the boss. But those exact self-protecting skills, they completely crush organizational learning.
We're literally so good at saving face that we accidentally design systems that are destined to fail.
Section 4. Shifting to Model 2. To fix all this, we've got to deliberately shift our entire mindset over to what's called Model 2. When you contrast the two, the difference is night and day. Model I is super defensive, hiding mistakes to win and controlling everything around you. Model 2, though, it's highly productive. Its core values are all about producing valid, observable information, encouraging open inquiry, and actually making informed choices together as a team. Instead of playing defense and protecting yourself, Model 2 asks you to share control and invite people to publicly test your ideas. The payoff? Way less defensiveness and genuine double-loop learning.
Making this shift requires us to completely redefine our workplace virtues. Take something as basic as respect. Under Model I, we think respect means making people feel good, right? We dodge conflict, we keep quiet about our colleagues' bad ideas, and we save face. But Model 2 flips that. It realizes that true respect isn't about avoiding conflict at all. True respect is treating others like they're actually capable of profound reflection and inquiry. It's having the trust in your team to challenge them directly and openly.
Which brings us to Section 5, Harnessing Creative Tension.
Let's look at a modern example of how this plays out in the real world. Consider a recent Forbes case study about a digital transformation that almost went completely off the rails. A precision engineering company built this brilliant multi-million-dollar smart factory, totally decked out with AI and IoT devices. They envisioned this highly automated utopia. But the whole project just hit a brick wall. The human workforce and middle management dug their heels in. Workers were terrified of being replaced by robots, and managers didn't trust the AI insights, so they just straight up ignored the new tools. Faced with this massive stall, leadership had two paths. First, they tried the single-loop fix, mandating the use of AI dashboards, pushing more software training, and throwing adoption incentives at the problem. Basically just adjusting the thermostat. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. So leadership pivoted to a double-loop fix. They actually tackled the underlying mental models. They surfaced those hidden fears about job loss, questioned their own workforce dynamics, and rolled up their sleeves to co-create the digital integration right alongside the workers. By doing that, they tapped into a really powerful concept known as creative tension. This is basically the gap between your current messy reality and the big goal you're envisioning. Under single-loop learning, that gap just causes frustration, pushback, and people checking out. But by embracing double-loop learning, the leaders stopped treating employee resistance like a bug that needed to be squashed. Instead, they turned that tension into a shared challenge that the whole team could solve together. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to take a hard look at your own organization, your team, or hey, even your personal projects. Ask yourself, when things inevitably go wrong, are you just reacting to the heat? Are you playing those organizational games to save face, completely trapped in the illusion of problem solving? Or are you brave enough to step back, surface the undiscussables, and reprogram the entire system? It might just be time to question the thermostat.